Shoes are part of everyone's life. From the time you're 2 years old to your present day, most likely you've worn shoes every day of your life. Shoes protect us from many things, such as sharp objects, rocks, and rusty nails. But are they actually helping us physically, or are they just robbing us of benefits that our bodies could use? If so, what are the benefits of walking barefoot? And do the benefits of walking barefoot outweigh the risks? Now, personally, I'm not a professional on this subject, but I've done extensive research and spent a significant time of my life barefoot. In my experiences, I've found out these benefits. First, walking barefoot can strengthen your ankles and feet, as well as your posture, balance, and proprioception. So let's get into it. The first physical benefit that walking barefoot can provide is increased proprioception. Cleveland Clinic identifies proprioception as it allows your brain to track where your body is in space without direct visual input. This is very important to day-to-day life as you play sports, drive around to work, or even just walk anywhere. You always use proprioception, so it's very important to keep it mentally sharp and strong. So walking barefoot is a great way to do that. Another benefit when walking barefoot is it can strengthen your ankles and legs. Last year I purchased some very nice basketball shoes, but as you know, basketball shoes have a lot of ankle support to keep from you rolling your ankle. I wore these a lot in my school life, and I went to practice one day for soccer and put on my cleats, which had no ankle support. As I started running on the field, I noticed that my ankles were having a very sharp pain. At first I associated this with the lack of running I did over the summer and the extensive running that I was getting into. But eventually I realized that it was probably more likely because I had weak ankles. You see, I've been wearing these basketball shoes for about 6 months or so throughout the summer, and I'd gotten very used to the ankle support. So when I took them off for soccer, my ankles were so weak. So eventually I ditched the shoes, bought some new ones without that much ankle support, and my ankles eventually stopped hurting. So walking barefoot can really build strength around your ankles and support you when you are barefoot. Another benefit of walking barefoot is it can also increase your mental health. One way it can increase your mental health is by relaxing your brain. There's a practice called grounding, and grounding basically connects your body to the natural electrons in the earth. As your body soaks up the electrons, it can lower cortisol levels and decrease stress and anxiety. So like I say, grounding can relieve stress, inflammation in the body, and improve sleep. And these three are essentials when trying to strengthen mental health. The next way walking barefoot can help you is by reducing anxiety. Anxiety causes stress and insomnia, which are not good for mental health. Walking barefoot can decrease cortisol levels, which are associated with anxiety, and relieve stress. A study done by the University of Essex, reference Acton 2025, a study done by the University of Essex, they took students and they basically told them to walk around in nature for 5 minutes a day. They measured their cortisol levels at the beginning of the walk and at the end of the walk. In the end, they found out that the cortisol levels actually dropped, meaning they had less anxiety. As I mentioned earlier, stress and anxiety can be very, very bad for your mental health, so it's important to keep away from those things. Now obviously, with a lot of benefits there come a lot of risks, and there are a few risks when walking barefoot. The first risk is that if you're used to walking with a lot of shoes with ankle support, it can be a very hard transition for you if you're used to that. It can cause stress and injury of the joints, and it's just not a good day. So one thing that you recommend to prevent this injury is walking in a house where there is less risk of injury and you can just take your time, there's less distractions. Another risk is obviously stepping on sharp objects outside. When I was younger, I was playing in my dad's truck. My dad is a construction worker, so he has a lot of tools, and he also has a lot of nails in his truck. And unfortunately, I stepped on one of these nails, and it went about 2 inches into my foot. We pulled it out, bandaged up my foot, and luckily, I'm still alive today and there was no infection. This story though taught me that there are risks to walking barefoot, and that you should wear shoes when you're exploring your dad's truck. But yeah, so there are risks in walking barefoot, but I believe that I believe that the benefits outweigh the risks significantly. So in the end, I'm not a professional on barefoot walking, but I have experienced many things throughout my life, as you've heard about. In this time, I've discovered benefits and risks, mostly benefits though, like strengthened legs and ankles, proprioception, and overall just better mental health. So in conclusion, I believe, to answer the question of should you get your shoes off, I believe you should, and that you should get your shoes off.